Many thanks for watching. Welcome back to the Marketplace. Now, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, says the introduction of the new high-value notes should not be misinterpreted to mean a shift from the bank's policy of pursuing a cashless society. The Governor of the Central Bank has been explaining the rationale for the introduction of the new 100 and 200 Ghana cedis as well as 2 cedi coin.
The purpose for this meeting is to inform you of the introduction of 2 higher denomination cedi banknotes and the 2 Ghana cedi coins. As you may recall, in May this year, the Bank of Ghana put into circulation upgraded banknotes of the Ghana cedi. The rationale for upgrading the banknotes was primarily to enhance the security features of the banknotes in the context of an evolving technological landscape, and to bring on board features that will secure the currency and make it difficult for counterfeiting. In addition to enhancing the security features, the upgraded banknotes came with specific features to improve durability and enhance their machine readability. The upgrade exercise retained the design features of the existing series of banknotes and coins, as introduced 12 years ago in 2007, in a redenomination exercise that sought to recalibrate the currency due to the significant deadweight burden, which was a legacy of long periods of high inflation and currency devaluation. The redenomination exercise aimed to eliminate 4 zeros from the existing unit of currencies in an attempt to introduce efficiency in the economy and remove the deadweight burden associated with transactions. At the time of the redenomination, the 1 Ghana cedi was equivalent to $1. The highest denomination then was the 50 Ghana cedi, which was equivalent to the $50. 12 years after the redenomination exercise, sustained periods of high inflation and the perennial depreciation of the currency have eroded in real terms the face value of the series of notes. As is the normal practice in all jurisdictions, central banks do periodically undertake a review of the structure of their currencies with a view to make sure that they are aligned with macroeconomic conditions and demand. In fact, international best practices requires monetary authorities to review their currency regimes at intervals of between 5 and 10 years, with the aim of ensuring that demand for banknotes are well aligned with economic activity, address weaknesses and challenges associated with the bank management of the notes and coins in circulation, assess the non-usage of a particular series to ensure efficiency in printing, and address technological innovations that impact the usage of currency.
So the governor also explained further the value of the new currency in dollar terms and maintained the central bank will vigorously implement the cash light agenda to make business transactions more efficient.
The review exercise, which involved conducting a nationwide survey with market operators, businesses, and international stakeholders, as well as some empirical exercise. The outcome of all of this revealed the resurgence of deadweight burden issues on the economy due to past significant inflation and perennial depreciation of the currency, and the significant increase in the demand for higher denomination banknotes and the increased cost of printing. Today, in line with the results of the exercise, the Bank of Ghana is introducing a new 2 Ghana cedi coin and the 100 Ghana cedi and 200 Ghana cedi banknote denominations into circulation to complement the existing series to ensure customer convenience and bring about efficiency in the printing of currency to generate savings for the country. These new higher value denominations will only restore partially the dollar value of the higher denomination to about 40 US dollars, which is not quite close to the levels in 2007, but high enough to significantly reduce the deadweight burden and high transaction costs in making high value purchases in the cash-based economy like Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the introduction of these high value notes should not be misinterpreted to mean a shift away from the central bank's policy of pursuing a cashless society and promoting the use of electronic modes of payments. While vigorously pursuing financial inclusion by accelerating the migration to e-payment platforms, we are also mindful of the relevance of cash in our day-to-day payments. Undeniably, cash still remains the preferred medium of payment by the large informal sector in the country. This is why we continue to pay attention to the enhancements in the structure, security features, and management of cash within the economy. This will stay with us for some time. In the coming days, the Bank of Ghana will embark on a nationwide campaign to educate the general public on.
All right, so that was the central bank governor giving some explanations to the reasons why the new currency notes have been launched. Now, after the launch of the new currency, the head of issue at the BOG, Dominic Owusu, spoke with my colleague George Wiafe, also explaining some of the features on the new notes.
I mean, this is the 100 Ghana cedi note I'm holding, and normally the notes must belong to a family. So there should be consistency in the thematic appeal, the design, aesthetics of the notes. That is why on these notes, we still maintain the general family picture. So here we have the image of the Big Six, as we see the Independence Arch, and then the watermark, which is in the shape of Tetekwashi and the cocoa pod. But then what is prominent and technologically advanced on these notes is what we call the surface stripe. And I want to point to the surface stripe. The surface stripe is the feature I'm covering or I'm pointing to. This feature is a three-dimensional feature and is the first introduction of this sort in the world. We have the feature we call, still the modern feature we call the surface stripe. Now on this note, we have the declared symbol oligod, which is the ball on the note. So when you look at the note, you see this ball as if it's 3D, as if you can pick it, but you cannot pick it. Now behind the ball, underneath it, you see the declared symbol oligod all across. In the middle of the same feature, you see the state sword. And when you tilt the note, the star on the state sword begins to expand and contract. So look at it. I hope you can see it. The star expands and contracts. Also on the left lower corner of the note, we see an enlarged Jinyame symbol, which is here. When I tilt the note, you see a gold bar moving up and down the banknote. These movements are very, very necessary for authentication.
Well, so that was the head of issue at the central bank, Dominic Owusu, explaining some of the key security features on the newly introduced banknotes. Now it's now time to cross over for some more analysis on the new currencies that have gone into circulation, and we want to link up with my colleague Ebenezer Sabute, who is going to speak with managing partner of JP Khan Associates Limited, Jonathan Prince, for the implications of these new currencies on the economy. Ebenezer, if you can hear me, take it up. All right, so I'm afraid we don't have Ebenezer on the line right now. We'll certainly put him through us, and when we get through to him, for some implications on the economy of the new currencies. Let's now see what a section of the business community in Kumasi have been reacting to the introduction of the new currency notes. All right, so here we have Sabute now on the line. Let's get to him now for some updates. Sabute.
On those who use the currency in order to transact. So definitely for efficiency.
We're still having some technical challenges. Let's take a listen to the Vox Pop from Kumasi.
I think it's a step in the right direction because as a businessman, when I travel to bring goods from abroad, at times I can take like 20,000 of me, which is 200 million OCDs. Now that the 200 cedis and 100 cedis currency is in, I think it's going to help me. At times when I can put like even 300,000 of me whilst nobody noticing.
Like when the thing is 5 pesos and we are increasing it, because of change and other things, it moves straight to 20 pesos or 10 pesos. But the thing could be increased like 2 pesos or something. But because we don't value the coins, it automatically jump to 10 pesos and 20 pesos. It is worrying us because artificial inflation. The statutory law that enforce us to use that money. It forces us to use the money. That will rather, the coins. That will rather help us. So the government should rather look to that than the 100 cedis and the 200.
Getting change for passengers have always created problems between the passenger and the meat. So we rather need more smaller notes, the coins.
I think it's going to help in some way, and in other ways it's not going to help because the larger volumes of the money would depreciate the smaller ones. The 10 pesos, 20 pesos would fade out of the system. But in other ways, it will help because you can get larger sums of money on you with just few notes.
We those in the market, even the 20 and 50 cedis notes, we find it difficult to find change for the customers. How much more this bigger note?
We should be more careful. We won't misplace a note because my ability. So lose one note, I'll be ability.
All right, so that was a section of the business community in Kumasi and what their reactions towards the newly introduced banknotes are. Now, the new banknotes and the 2 cedi coins launched today would be available for transactions from next week. The Bank of Ghana officially launched the new 200 cedis, 100 cedis, and 2 cedi coins, which are now legal tenders. Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Apopwa Afari, has been explained to Joy Business, but my colleague George Rafi was there. He spoke with him and he's joined me in the studio here for a little discussion. Now, George, so when next am I going to get these currencies?
So we have the economists will want to say that all other things being equal, maybe Tuesday or even Wednesday, based on the request that you make to your bank, you could get access to this note. Why is it going to take a while? Because the Bank of Ghana is telling us that there need to be certain calibrations of their systems and all those things, and these things cannot be completed in a day. Also, this is based on request from each of the commercial banks. So if your bank goes to the currency unit and says that we need about 3 million of the 500, 200 Ghana cedi notes in our vaults, then the request will be made, then it will get to them. They also need to quickly work out their systems to ensure that, you know, we make these systems or these notes be accepted in our systems that we have. And therefore, if that is not completed today or tomorrow, or it may be completed by the close of Monday, then possibly from Tuesday, based on request to your fee, you can get access to
now, a few people have spoken with indicating that some of these features on this new currency notes look just like the other notes already in circulation. So what is the Bank of Ghana actually doing to educate?
Well, I bet to differ on that one. I was with the Bank of Ghana when they launched these new notes, and most of the notes I was there. If you really look at the hologram effect as well, you could see that that is different from the other currencies in circulations. And just from the eye of what I've seen, it's a little bit different from what is circulation. These are the security notes that some of the top issuers around the world are doing. And these are the same issuers that are doing for some of the well-developed economies around the world. So the Bank of Ghana itself, it costs them a lot of money if the monies have been counterfeited. And that is why they claim that these are the top of international features that you can find on any currency note. And again, it will be able to distinguish itself, or be difficult to counterfeit these notes.
Now, some people also are questioning the timing of the introduction of this new currency. Of course, we know that the elections are fast coming, and they think that is a way of actually creating some more money to spend.
Dr. Maxwell Pakupari said that Bank of Ghana has signed up to both the IMF commitment and all the rest, not to spend more than X amount of money in a period, in an election year, not spending more than 5% of your value of your economy in terms of your fiscal year. So all those requirements are there. These are laws actually. And issuing these notes, what the governor is telling us is that it's just issuing the notes to exchange what is already in circulation. So for instance, if you have about maybe 10 million Ghana cedis of maybe 50 Ghana cedis in circulation, what they are going to do is maybe recollect about 5 million 50 notes Ghana cedi, and then issue about 5 million notes of these 100 cedis notes. So always they're going to make sure that they're going to balance it with the notes that are supposed to be in circulation, matching economic activities. And if a government wants to overspend, they don't need new notes to do that. They can still use the existing notes to do that. So they claim that these notes are not going to make it easier for government to overspend, but these notes rather are even going to help them in terms of reducing transactional costs, because the issue about the cost as well came up. The cost of printing existing notes is very, very expensive, and therefore the need was to look at bringing in new notes that will be less expensive in terms of the way it actually loses its value, so that it will be a longer time. So with these new notes, the argument is that it will keep a little bit longer in circulation before they will be able to reprint these notes. And that cost savings have been factored into the cost of printing or issuing these new notes.
So you think
that is what
you have been doing a lot more business stories. Now, you think introduction of this is not going to be inflationary in a way?
Well, they also claim, and that's the question I put to them about its impact on the cost of goods and services. And they claim that no, it won't do that, because they've actually done all the surveillance as well to test the market and the impact of these notes on that. And they don't think that in any way it will force people to up their prices, because what they are going to ensure is that these new notes will come in, existing notes, and pull the rest out. So they are not going to push in more notes into the system that will not match economic activities.
Did you in any way find out about the cost of all these?
That has always been a very difficult question to get from Bank of Ghana when they issue new notes. But I think that very, very soon, looking at what we are trying to get, we'll be able to tell our viewers out there the cost of issuing these new notes.
All right, many thanks, George Wiafi, who just returned from the Bank of Ghana to witness the launch of the new currency notes. Let's now see what you have been saying about the introduction of the new notes. And on our Facebook page, we pose the question to you. We said the Bank of Ghana has introduced new 2 cedi coin, 100 cedis and 200 cedis. What do you think about this move? Very, very impressive responses there. 86% of you are saying it's very unnecessary for introducing new currencies, and only 14% says it is a good move by the Bank of Ghana to introduce the new currency notes. So that's the results of the poll we posted. You can keep your answers coming in. You can still keep voting, because we have more business updates for you on this new currency notes development on our subsequent business bulletins. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. That's it for the Marketplace. Have a good afternoon.